good to see you. My name is Brewster. I'm a dog. I make ASMR. And thanks again for 2,000 subscribers, guys. I promise every video will not be me talking about new subscribers, but it just keeps happening. So I love you all. You're amazing. You're all very good boys and good girls and good NBs. It's very, very exciting to make videos for you guys and all those things. I had this video in my head last week. I'm kind of thinking that I'll make videos every Sunday night, which is tonight, and then get posted on Monday. So I don't want to inundate you guys with too much of me and get sick of me, and that way I don't get run out of ideas. But I've had this idea for a minute, and I think it'll be really fun and exciting. Shout out to NC Fur. I've seen him do this, and he really inspired me. So hopefully it'll be fun to hear you guys talk about the music that I like, and I'm gonna add some tippy tap sounds, I promise. And I have another thing. I went to Six Flags today at Six Flags over Texas. I rode all the roller coasters. I am a huge roller coaster fan. I'm a roller coaster enthusiast. I love roller coasters so much. But I didn't have my cough drops, and I screamed and yelled. And my voice is a little bit scratchy today, so I don't know if you can hear, but I have a cough drop in my mouth this evening, wherever you are. I know people like ASMR with cough drops. Hopefully you guys do. What we're doing today, we're doing some of my vinyl collection, because I am a big nerd dog and I love collecting vinyl. And we're gonna get into this. I probably have to take off my paws because I don't want to get paws all over my nice records and stuff. But I love music. Ever since I was a kid, I loved a lot of music. And when I was in high school, I guess I got really into certain bands, and then in college I got even more so into music. And then I thought, the hipster side of me really came out and said I want to collect vinyl, because CDs are so... I actually collected CDs for a little bit, because I thought they were cooler and also cheaper. So I collected CDs for a while. CDs nuts. Sorry. Yeah, I thought they were a good enough way to connect, like physical media, but they were cheaper than vinyl. But then I got my first vinyl record and I was sold, and we're gonna get into it. But I have a huge vinyl collection. I try to narrow it down to maybe 8 or 10 that I really think would let you guys know who I am as a dog. And I guess we might as well get right into it. I got to break the magic a little bit. Let me take off my paws. Alright, so we'll get some regular tabbies in there. This is the first vinyl I ever bought. It was, I think I remember seeing it on, I guess it might have been Spotify promoted or something, but it was a really, really cool pressing that I couldn't pass up. And it's an album that I absolutely adore. If you know it, if you recognize it, we got Weezer. It's Pinkerton. And I know Weezer is kind of a meme. They kind of get laughed off the internet all the time. But for a really long time, still kind of to this day, Weezer was my favorite band. I was really into another band that we'll talk about soon, but I really like a lot of their early stuff. People say their first 2 albums are very formative in the alternative scene, alternate rock, which I kind of grew up listening to. But this album, I'll try not to glare too much. This album especially was written during a period of the singer was going through a lot of mental health issues. He had to deal with the success of Weezer being too much and imposter syndrome and things like that. And so he thought that Weezer was getting way too much attention for the songs he was writing. He said there's no way that these like 4-chord pop songs are as good as they could be. I could be writing, high art. I could be doing anything with my talent. And I'm making millions off this pop star stuff. He wasn't a fan of that. So he enrolled and went to Harvard. And he studied, I think he studied classical composition or classical music, right? And that was in 1995 to 1996. He says that he bought a lonely basement apartment in, Massachusetts. And at the same time, he was getting a leg procedure done, so he was very lonely and, depressed and all that because he didn't have anyone who knew who he was. He was trying to adjust to the pop star life. And so the story goes that he grew out his beard, and people wearing Weezer shirts going to class couldn't even recognize it. And he auditioned for the Harvard Men's Choir and got rejected. So as you can see, probably assume it's an album of emotions and a lot of various things happening in his life. And I really love it. I connect with it so much. Not to say I'm a very depressed dog, but I love the melody, the musicianship, the production, the lyrics. Oh, I could say so many good things about this album. And it's my favorite album in the whole world. I won't talk all about it, but there's a whole concept album that was scrapped, like a space opera and everything like that. But the biggest thing is the album didn't sell very well at all because it was kind of inaccessible is the word. It didn't really have the pop sound that people were expecting from Weezer after their original album, right? The lead singer, his name is Rivers. He said, "Okay, if you don't want to hear if you don't want to hear my lyrics, and if me spilling my heart out was not what you want to hear, then you don't get to hear it. It was my fault. I'm not doing that again." And so they went away for about 5 years, and now Weezer songs never feature emotional, heartfelt lyrics, even to this day, because he got burned so badly. He felt like he let his whole heart out on his sleeve, and the world turned against him for it. So it's a shame because I think he has so much potential, but I still love this album so much. And I have it, I have the actual vinyl over here. Let's see if I can, without too much noise. It's this wonderful snowy white. I'm very careful to touch it only on the edges. You're only supposed to touch vinyl on the edges, because you could smudge it or put dust in the grooves and all that. So I'm being very careful. But when I saw this vinyl online, I said, I need that. That's gorgeous. That's amazing. So it's an amazing pressing of an amazing album that means so much to me. Surprisingly, I don't have a tattoo of it. I've thought a lot about it. I've thought about what I might get from this album. There's a lot of different things I could think about, but I never got around to it. It's just one that means so much, and I would say if you want to check out this album, one song you might check out. Oh, that's tough, actually. Let me think. What would I recommend from this album? Well, my favorite song is called Across the Sea. It has to do with the lead singer. He's feeling very lonely at the time, and he receives a piece of fan mail from an 18-year-old fan from Japan. And then, because he's so lonely, he kind of fixates on her, and he laments the fact that she lives so far away, even though he feels like she could solve all of his problems, right? he feels like he could give her, or she could give him company and love and respect, even though, you know, he's the singer, he's the lead singer, but he's aware that that would be a bad, you know, power dynamic. And so he obviously doesn't do anything about it, but he writes the song about the disconnect and the desire, and it's an amazing song. It's the best song he's ever written, seriously. So the lyrics are kind of, I don't know, they're intense, they're very emotional. If you listen to it, the biggest thing is don't judge. That's the thing, you know. It's a very deep from the gut album. I do recommend it 100%. But if you don't, my friend recently liked Pink Triangle. That's a story about how he caught feelings for a girl in his class, and he thought that they were becoming like closer than friends. But then he saw a pink triangle on her jacket or her backpack, and he said, "Oh, that's the symbol for lesbian. If you didn't know." And he said, "Oh, I'm dumb. She's a lesbian." Like I thought we had something, but I'm an idiot. Fuck me. And then she actually heard the song after the fact and said, "I'm not a lesbian. I'm just an ally." So he just can't catch a break as far as I'm concerned. So that's Pinkerton by Weezer. And let's see what we got next. Alright, well, next up, I am positive that you guys will know this one because I know that you guys are just as much nerds as me. And I had to pick it for my collection because there's a fun story and also it's amazing music. I will not leave you waiting. It's Minecraft Volume Alpha. Oh man, everyone loves this soundtrack, including me. Oh, for the longest time, I knew I needed this in my collection because not only is the album art iconic, but the album itself is iconic. I love Minecraft, just like everyone. I used to play it. I played it. This is a throwback, but in November 2011, Minecraft 1.0 came out. The full version of Minecraft. Now, if you guys want to make me feel old, tell me how old you were when the game came out, because I was 11. I remember being in 6th grade, in like my homeroom. It was a Friday, and my friend says, "Minecraft comes out today," and I said, "What do you mean? It's been out for months," because I was playing the beta, right? But that's how long I've been playing Minecraft. We used to have a server and all that, and then I loved playing the console versions with my cousins when they were in town and stuff. So I have so much nostalgia for the music and all of the game. I don't really play it so much anymore. I've played it so much that I've done everything. I play it maybe once a year just for like old time's sake just to get back in. But my friends always do that thing where they say, "Okay, we're doing a Minecraft server," and then everybody plays for like 2 days and then gets off. So I love Minecraft and the music, and I knew I needed this album in my collection because it's iconic, and I know I love it so much. But so it was really expensive to get your hands on, and I think this is how this went. I came across an eBay listing that had it just said the vinyl for Minecraft for way cheaper, like way cheaper than it should be. And you never know what you're gonna find on eBay if you search for it. So I said, "I want that, give me that," and then it showed up at my house. So now I own it for way cheaper than I should have ever paid for it. And let's see the actual vinyl over here. Yeah, it's green. That makes perfect sense. But yeah, I really like it. It's a fantastic pressing, but I have just one slight problem. let me tell you a thing about vinyl. If you don't know, you can see it very well. The grooves, the textured area, that's where the music is, right? So that's where all the grooves, where the needle will microscopically move up and down, side to side, and it has the vibrations, right, to play the music. But if you see all this clear space, you see I can touch it, right? That's where no music is. And if you see how much clear space there is, that's how much space they could have put more music. And so it's kind of like a highlight reel from, if you look on Spotify or anywhere else, the album will have like all of the songs on it, but this pressing only has like 8 or 9 or 10, which is like, it gets all of the important ones, right? But my favorite part of the Minecraft soundtrack is Subwoofer Lullaby, right? If you know it, you'll hear it. If you know it if you hear it, right? But my also favorite thing is there's an intro to that song called Door, and it's like the second song on the Spotify album, and it acts as like a perfect introduction to Subwoofer Lullaby that I never knew about for so long, right? And so I really was looking forward to it being on this pressing, and it's not. Like, the album just starts with Subwoofer Lullaby without Door on it. Like, why? I thought it would just come with every song because there's so much free space. Why wouldn't they just put it there? But I guess you can't win them all. It's a fantastic album. I can only, I just wish, that's all I can say. I just wish for a little bit more music. Like, come on, what's all this about? What can you do? But everybody loves Minecraft, so shout out if you enjoy it. No, I do. I think we got time for a couple more. This one's I won't talk so much about because I've talked about it before, but I just had to show you guys. This is an important one. It's very special naturally because, well, you'll see why. If you saw my tattoo tour video, I do recommend it because I really like that video. You guys loved it too, but if you watch that one, this might ring a bell for you when you see the album cover. It is Alive 2007 by Daft Punk. Now, if you're a true fan, I need to come up with a name for my subscribers. I was kind of saying the pack in my comments. That sounds really corny, but I like the. What do we say? Are you guys like the booster pups? I don't know. You're the pack. You guys can be the pack right now. That's fine. If you're new to the pack, you may not recognize this, but if you're a fan from the humble beginnings of a couple videos ago, you might recognize this. And if you're not, I'll show you on my. Can you recognize something? My tattoo is the pyramid from this album. It's a fantastic design. Like I said in that video, when you're a Daft Punk fan, there's pretty much only 2 designs you can get. You might get their helmets from Random Access Memories, or you get the pyramid from Alive, because honestly I like this album better. This is also one of my top 3 or 5 albums of all time. It's unbelievably fantastic. If you like Daft Punk, this is the final, the absolute best thing they ever made. It's so good. But the pyramid represents the pyramid that they performed on during the concerts. They had this crazy like light up pyramid and these crazy like LEDs that would light up. It was so ahead of its time for 2007. Like seriously, it's an insane image, right? But it's a live album, naturally, from the set they did back in the day. They mixed their first 3 albums together, and all the songs are on the back. And it's actually it's a very interesting album for me because I got into Daft Punk in 2021 when I was in college. I listened to a lot of them, and then for Christmas I asked for this album and a lot of other Daft Punk stuff, and this album is kind of expensive, but not like crazy, right? But then, if you're familiar, in February of 2022, Daft Punk broke up. They said, we're not making any more music. And the cost of this album and all their albums skyrocketed because they didn't have time to, have represses or anything. So the demand went way up. And I had a friend, my friend also collects vinyl, and he sold his entire Daft Punk collection for like hundreds of dollars, like I think it was almost 4 figures. Like people were obsessed with Daft Punk when that happened. It's kind of like when you have a signed poster or something, and then like the artist dies. That's just if the demand goes up. You know what I mean? You could make a lot of money. So I held on because I wanted it so bad. I mean, I could have made a quick buck off of it, but it's a very important album to me, so I couldn't let it go. It's also really heavy, and it has the most bass I've ever heard on a vinyl. Like when it's heavy duty pressed, that means it's really, really high quality, and it has the potential to hold more, music and all that. So I will also attempt to show you the interior. They call it a trifold because it's an awesome picture. See, there they are. That's the Daft Punk boys inside their pyramid, and it was during their tour. It's a really cool picture. I had it as my desktop background for a while. Alright, so we can give a little bit more of a booster history update on my music taste. This is the very first album I ever listened to all the way cover to cover. And you might think that's kind of crazy, but you also might not, depending on how old you are. I must have been about 15 or 16 when I heard this album, and I was a big fan of the singles and stuff when I was a kid. And this is the first album I ever heard that I said, "Whoa, wait! Like this, the entire album is amazing. Like not just the singles. There's like songs that I've never heard before that are as good or better than the singles. What are you talking about? Like what?" So that was an insane realization for me, and I'm really happy that it was. I'm sure you guys are gonna know it. It's American Idiot. It is also one of the most famous iconography on an album. It's an amazing album cover, seriously. It's like so good. I especially like on the vinyl version, it's different than the CD version or the Spotify, because the heart like a hand grenade is so much smaller, and it looks so much better on a vinyl than it does on a CD. But when I was in high school, this was my absolute shit. Like seriously, I would spin this all the time, and I love playing the drums to it because I've been playing the drums since about that long. So it's one of my favorite drum albums, and it's a crazy album for me in my history because I didn't realize albums could be really good and tell a story and cohesive and sound amazing. I thought they were just, vehicles for the singles at that point, right? So I absolutely love this album. The problem is I've kind of listened to it to death. Like I can listen to it and enjoy it, but it's not something I usually spin on like the daily. I don't rotate it often, just because back in the day that was all I listened to, right? So I spend like these 9 songs so much. Other 9, there might be 10 songs. There's not numbers on the back. I can't count, so I'm gonna say there's 10. Yeah, I'm sure you guys are familiar with this album. Holiday, Boulevard of Broken Dreams. What else is American Idiot, Natural, the title track? Recommend a song that you should listen to. I would say I really like Give Me Novocaine. It's a song about it's a story, doesn't really matter, but it's kind of an acoustic starting sound with like a slide guitar, an acoustic guitar, but it has a really catchy catchy melody. I really love the second verse. I like the drum pattern. It was like an insane drum pattern for me to learn that I really loved. It was one of the first songs I ever learned on the guitar when I was 16. It's an amazing song, and I like that it sounds different than you might think Green Day sounds, but it's a fantastic song, and it leads right into She's a Rebel, which is also amazing. And then, okay, that's a good point. I love this album a lot because it has those transitions that everybody likes, right? When an album has the songs that lead into each other, they go from one and they lead directly into the other. This album does that a lot, so if that interests you, I do recommend it because, let's see, Holiday goes into Boulevard of Broken Dreams, Are We the Waiting goes into St. Jimmy, Novocaine goes into Rebel, Extraordinary Girl goes to Letter Bomb, and it also has Wake Me Up on When September Ends. Oh, what it says. Yeah. So I really like that. Their album right after this, 21st Century Breakdown, did that even more and had even more songs on it. So I really liked that. When I was like in high school, that was my shit. So it was the coolest shit ever. I do recommend it if you do looking for a concept album. This is the one. Okay, so this might be my last one, and I'll talk a little bit about this. This feels like a decent kind of wrap up for my musical journey. So I was saying, in high school I was kind of into like punk rock. Green Day was the first band that I ever really listened to. That wasn't my mom's music or just the radio, you know what I mean? So it was the first time I'd been into like a band that I liked a lot and an album that I could really get into. And then I listened to them to death. And then in college I got into Weezer, and then I listened to Daft Punk and My Chemical Romance and all that. But then Weezer only puts out, the last time they put out music was like 2022. And in the meantime, I found a new love. And it might be kind of basic, but it's The Weeknd. Ladies and gentlemen, The Weeknd. I don't know. I know he's like the number one Spotify listened in the whole world, but his music is so good and it's so catchy, and I just really, really like it. So my favorite album is Dawn FM or Hurry Up Tomorrow, but I picked this album because it is literally my favorite album art of all time, and that might be high praise. You may not agree with me, but I might be able to show you and convince you. This is the album called After Hours, and I like it. Everybody says it's his best album. I don't think that's true at all. I think he has a lot of better albums that aren't this, but I think this is the most perfect example of an album art that matches the lyric and the sound and the story of the album on the inside. As you can see, if you're not looking, that's okay. You can rest. It's no big deal. But it is The Weeknd. His name is Abel, and he's got like a bloody nose, and he's looking down at the camera with a face that's really, it's hard to describe his expression. He's looking down kind of at us with this like smile, not like a creepy smile, but it's just incongruous with what you'd expect someone would be doing with a bloody nose. And it's kind of, it's a little bit dark. It's not disturbing, but it's just like, what? It makes you like, this is such a visceral image. Like, it doesn't really, it says a lot, but it's like, what? It makes you curious, you know what I mean? And I don't really know what it says to me. I think it's a really evocative image, especially. And there's a fantastic song on here called Faith. It wasn't a single or anything, but let me see if I can remember the lyrics, because I feel like they really matched the tone of this image. I think It's a song about like sobriety and breaking his sobriety and falling back into addiction and all that. Because a lot of his songs have to do with drugs and stuff, and also like toxic relationships. So there's a lyric where he says, he's like, "Baby, if I OD, I want you to be there right beside me. I want you to hold me while I'm smiling, while I'm dying. And if you know me, when I go missing, you know where to find me. Driving through the boulevard, it's blinding. Always something by the desert lights." And okay, I won't sing it, but I think the lyric of "I want you to hold me while I'm smiling, while I'm dying" is crazy. Like, it's actually an insanely evocative piece of lyrics, and I think it really perfectly matches what this picture says. You know what I mean? That emotion that it brings up. It's combining, you know, the good versus the bad. It's like, why would you be smiling when your nose is broken? You know, so it's a very dark sounding album. The lyrics are dark. A lot of things are dark about it. And it's just, I think a really good album art should tell a story. It should be evocative. It should be interesting to look at, but it should also paint a picture of what the music might look like on the inside. There's a lot of good album arts out there that are just really nice images and nice pictures, but do they feel like they nail the vibe of the music so strongly and so interestingly, while still being an interesting image, right? So, love me or hate me, that's my favorite album art of all time. I know I might be basic, but I like The Weeknd. What can I say? And this vinyl is also black, but I don't think I need to take it out for you guys. I'm sure you know what it looks like. Alright. Welcome back. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my little ramble. I've been so happy that you guys are so perceptive and welcoming to my rambles, because I like making those. They're a lot of fun, and you guys are such good listeners. You always are so perceptive and enjoy what I have to say, and it means a lot. Hopefully I can make tons more videos that you guys want to hear. I've got a couple ideas lined up. Like I said, I have a dog clicker that I bought. I've had it for months, but I know you guys love a good dog clicker. I know you do. I know you're all good boys for me. You like a good dog clicker naturally. I might have to think of an idea for the 5K subs. Since we're rapidly approaching that number more than I ever expected, maybe I could do like a detailed muscle thing, like I talk about each muscle and the workouts and stuff. I don't want to be too vain about it, but that might be kind of, I'm sure you guys are probably like it, so let me know if that sounds fun. I might do some shushing, some stuff like that pretty soon, so stay tuned. Give me a like, give me a comment. I love hearing from you guys so much. And I hope you sleep well, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.